As you know, there is enormous political pressure at the national and international level to pass legislation that will supposedly stop global warming. Hi, I'm Christy Pelletier, and I'm very concerned about the science that's being used to justify this legislation. Every politician who supports this very dangerous legislation cites the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or the IPCC, as the reason that man is responsible for the warming in the 20th century.
The recent report by the IPCC, written by hundreds of scientists from around the world and peer-reviewed by many more, including NOAA scientist Susan Solomon, confirms conclusively that the Earth is warming due to human activity.
The IPCC is supposed to be the premier scientific organization studying the global warming issue. But is it? Or is it something else entirely? Let's take a look. The 2007 IPCC Summary for Policymakers strongly asserts that there is now enough evidence to say that it is very likely that man has caused the warming of the 20th century. That translates into a 90% certainty that man is causing global warming. Yet their conclusions are highly suspect. Just how unbiased is the IPCC? After years of being stonewalled, climate analyst John McClain had to use the Freedom of Information Act to force the United Nations to release internal data on just how many scientists actually agreed with the conclusion that there is a 90% certainty that man is responsible for global warming. The results are shocking. The United Nations has created the myth that there is a consensus of thousands of scientists that man is causing global warming. In actuality, only 62, not hundreds or thousands of scientists were actually involved in reviewing the IPCC's science chapter. Of this 62, 31, or half, had a vested interest in supporting the man-caused theory. Review comments that didn't support the IPCC's conclusions were ignored by the IPCC. Nearly 60% of the comments for the final draft fell into this category. I was shocked to learn that out of all of these scientists, only 4 agreed with the conclusions of the IPCC. That's right, only 4. That is the United Nations so-called scientific consensus of thousands of scientists. The IPCC myth is false, blatantly false. The United States EPA even suppressed an internal report criticizing the IPCC's conclusions. At best, the IPCC's report is highly biased and cannot be used to justify policy. At worst, the report is a deliberate effort to corrupt the scientific process to arrive at a preconceived conclusion. This conclusion is designed to deceive politicians into creating policy. Creating dangerous policy is exactly what our Congress is doing. The biased nature of this report, combined with the overwhelming recent scientific results showing that carbon dioxide is not responsible for global warming, has led over 600 internationally recognized scientists, some of them former IPCC team members and authors, to abandon the man-caused global warming theory. Think about this for a minute. For every IPCC PhD scientist who supports the IPCC's conclusions, there are hundreds, if not thousands, who disagree. The IPCC is not a scientific organization. It is an agenda-driven political machine that is perpetrating a fraud on the citizens of the world. So why are we even considering this legislation? This cap-and-trade bill must not pass. If you've never contacted your senators before, please do it now. You can contact them at www.congress.org. Tell them that unless they vote no on this dangerous cap-and-trade legislation, you will not be voting for them. Tell them that the IPCC is a fraud and is not to be trusted. Let's stop this horrible legislation together by passing the link for this video on to others that we know. Thank you so much for your time.